Well, good morning, agents, and welcome to the 105th edition of my weekly series of Weird Mind Newsroom, where this week I will of course go through the information of the information superhighway and provide a fine selection of new releases, a handful of trailers to indulge in and equipped, and have a bit of an odd quiet week of news stories as well, but we can get into that in due time. So let's delve into the mission briefing and talking all things media for this week in particular. So, the first of the new releases for this week, should you choose to accept and seeing this new release, has been a long time coming. As after going on a journey that has spanned over nearly 3 decades and multiple films in this franchise with a leading man that defines action cinema, it may be the time for this franchise to come together for one last mission and for one last death-defying stunt in order for this special agent to save the world from total destruction. As after being split into 2 films and having a bit of a delay and a name change, we have finally received the 8th and presumably final installment of the Mission Impossible series with The Final Reckoning. The film will follow on from the conclusion of Dead Reckoning, with Ethan Hunt and the IMF obtaining the key item needed and man must travel across the globe in order to find and destroy a highly deadly weapon known as the Entity, a powerful AI gone rogue that may destroy humanity if it falls into the wrong hands, while also dealing with the misdeeds of the past getting in the way of saving the world. Reception on this entry has been gotten some very well received reviews with praise for establishing a legacy, but came before and being a solid send-off to the franchise, but I'm sure there'll probably be more in this regards, though there's some see it as it being a little underwhelming in some regards, but each to their own in terms of their choice and opinion. But if you want to check this out for yourself, you can also catch this new entry out now in cinemas. And as for the other big film release of this week, and one that I see as being somewhat of a form like a Barbenheimer, probably not, and maybe kind of overdoing is a different thing. What the fuck?
La Crista!
What did he just say? Anyways, we are heading to the House of Mouse once again to see their latest form of taking their animated classic and bringing it to the real world. And while the previous live action entry has had its drama, and I think personally was really well overblown, and personally I think it was actually a very enjoyable film, this time around we have a little bit more of mischief and chaos in something that is cute and fluffy, as this little blue alien is about to be unleashed on the islands of Hawaii as we have the all-new live-action adaptation of Disney's Lilo and Stitch. For those uninitiated about the original film's plot, the story follows Lilo, a little Hawaiian girl who has a bit of a loner and odd child who must deal with the dilemma of being cared for by her big sister from losing custody of her from child services, who will get a surprise in a visit and befriending of a small blue creature named Stitch, who turned out to be an alien experiment on the run from the Galactic Federation and from his creator. And while he's designed to be the creature that destroys, it will soon learn about the importance of family and ohana along the way. Reception on this new remake seems to be a bit more positive compared to the previous remake, with praise to its performances, its visuals, its humor and heart, and for being a respectful and well-liked retelling of the original. Though if you look online on YouTube, will tell you a whole different story. Just feels like the same repeat patterns are mentioned and a few buzzwords all the time, with some critiques of some changes or missing additions of the original. Though hearing they are teasing a sequel in the credits, it may change some bits of that. But if you want to check it out for yourself, you can also catch this new film out now in cinemas. And the last of the films for this week is a return to a new focus of films in mind that comes from a well-established and beloved quirky director with the quick wit, original story, and always having a large ensemble cast and having a very clear shot in a unique perspective, as Wes Anderson is back once again for returning to his vast industry of canes with an all-new film of the Phoenician Scheme. The film will follow wealthy businessman Zaza Corda, played by Benicio del Toro, who after surviving another plane crash decides to leave his entire estate to his sole daughter of sister Liza, played by Mia Freppleton. This soon leads to him going on the journey of embarking on a new enterprise that soon becomes the target of scheming tycoons, foreign terrorists, and determined assassins. Reception on this new title, like his previous outings, have also been garnering some decently well-received reception, with praise to the performances, including the main lead of Del Toro, an all-star cast, its humor, its visuals, and cinematography charm that he has. Though some see the story as being a little more messy and a little all over the place, but I'm sure there's a fair appeal overall with the narrative. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can also catch this new film out now, also in cinemas. And this last new release is one I'm not going to give too much of a focus on, as this series has probably well and truly overstayed its welcome. And you know, it's time to come together for one last awkward ride, as after nearly a decade on the streamer, they have finally released the final season and ending of the Netflix animated series of Big Mouth. This, of course, will continue and wrap up the narrative and story of these young versions of these creators and stars of the series as they go through the mess and drama of puberty with the aid of the hormone monsters and all the other creatures of human resources as they work their way to growing into themselves. Reception on this title that I question every time is that they all got very strong reception and felt they had covered all topics after like the third or fourth season. Plus, this series is bordering on questionable CP type levels, but then again, Netflix also did promote the film like Cutie, so yeah. But thankfully, it's all over now, and we can get some probably good animated shows and maybe return of some others that were promised more stories or seasons. Please bring us back Inside Job Season 2, please. But if you want to see how this all comes into an end, then you can catch this full series, all now available on Netflix. And with all of that, that's all the new releases that we do have for this week.
Let's go back to the island.
So the first of the trailers this week is a new look at the battle of the creatures that throughout the age of man, we have seen the vast changes of the different form of the most powerful hunter or fighter on this planet. In many times of the history of the world have seen these tactics evolved. But however, in this new instance, while they may be the best of their time, they are about to face off against the most powerful of them all from beyond our own planet. As we have gotten one more trailer for the upcoming new animated anthology film, I believe, of Predator, Killer of Killers. The film will give a focus of three of the most fiercest warriors in human history. A Viking raider guiding his young son on a request for revenge, a ninja in feudal Japan who turns against his samurai brother in a brutal battle of succession, and a World War II pilot taking to the sky to investigate an otherworldly threat to the Allied cause. And while they may all be killers in their own right, they will merely be prey to their new opponent, who is seen as the ultimate killer of killers. Now, it has to be said that the Predator franchise has definitely seen a massive appeal, and has now been seen as both of these projects that we have for this year are kind of very exciting concepts. After kind of having a bit of a mixed match with like the spin-offs, the kind of hope with Predators that kind of faltered, the 2018 movie as well, kind of hit or miss, and then revived with Trachtenberg's Prey, I think likely we're in some good appeal with this regards. And you know, they have their own appeal in their own rights, and this one is giving me some really appealing vibes and aesthetic with the visual style of animation that gives me a bit of a Spider-Verse or Arcane style, and from the looks of things it looks really cool. I'm excited to check it out, and it's not too long away as releasing in just about 2 weeks time on June 6th. Now for a return to a world for the second trailer that has an element for those over these past 65 million years. The creatures that walked the earth that were thought to have been wiped out were reborn with the creation of a park, but the likes of some of these new former footage of creatures, not all of them made it to the original park, and some have evolved into something more dangerous, and we will need to go to their hunting grounds to obtain something important and also save their own kind, as we have received a new trailer for the upcoming entry of the Jurassic World series with Jurassic World Rebirth. The new film will be set 5 years after Dominion, and the world's climate has evolved to become more inhospitable for the dinos where they now reside in more remote tropical locales. The film will follow Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, a covert op who was hired by a pharmaceutical company to work with Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey, and Henry Kincaid, played by Marshall Ali, on top secret mission to a forbidden island that was once the original research facility for Jurassic Park, and locate the 3 largest prehistoric species of the land, sea, and air, and extract some DNA samples in the hopes of being used to create some revolutionary drug that will save countless lives. However, this expedition is not going to be easy, as while the planet has evolved over the years, so has these creatures, to where the new breed of mutations have now become to take shape. Now it can be said that the likes of the Jurassic Park or World series have been a focus at every entry from both its fans and detractors, with many saying that they haven't got a proper solid entry since the original film. Jurassic World somewhat came close to some people, but still had its issues, and personally I enjoyed all of them that had come out, even if they have some massive glaring issues in all of them. But this one gives me some sense of appeal in trying something different, that while it can be seen that has the sense of like sort of a dino cross species over the years, this one seems to be going all out with the mutant crossover and all out action, and I think so far from the original film's writer and the director with a visual flair who did 2015's Godzilla and The Creator, I can see this having some appeal, and I know I'll give it a proper check out, and you can as well when the film is reborn into theaters and roaring its way in there from July 2nd. Our third trailer for this week, I heed the warning that for those with the fear of those weird looking clowns, that this one may not be for you. But in the instance of this next one, this one has many forms, but in all case, we'll see the one thing to know is that we will all float down. We all float down here, don't you? And you can too, as well, as we received the trailer for the newest prequel series based on the very popular Stephen King novel and adaptations with It. Welcome to Dare. The series will serve as a prequel to the two recent adaptations of the novel and set 27 years before the first movie in 1962, and focus on a group of young kids who begin to sense the presence of an ancient evil, specifically Pennywise, rising in the town, and will explore more of the origins and deep history of the town of Derry and the shape-shifting clown. So I remember thinking that the recent adaptations of the novel had genuine good development and focus, and while I felt that Chapter 2 did fumble it a fair bit more than the first part in being all over the place, I still think they worked well overall, and from what I was seeing on this so far in unsettling focus to it, it does have its appeal. Sure, I'm not at the moment fully blown away by it, but I think what they show here is really kind of interesting, and I warmed to it over time, and I'm excited to check it out as well. It's not too far away, as we releasing on HBO Max in the US and Sky now in the UK and Ireland sometime later this fall. The last of the film trailers for this week is seeing us make a return to a land inhabited by all from a group of anthropomorphic animals who thrive, work, live, and experience many new things in this bustling city. But in the focus with two familiar faces, it looks like they're about to have their work cut out for them once again, and on a case for a new mystery to solve. As after nearly a decade since the original movie, we are returning to the bustling, massive metropolis with the first teaser trailer for the upcoming sequel to Zootopia. Now, the new film will see Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde find themselves on a twisting trail of a mysterious reptile of a snake named Garrett, played by Ki Hoi Kwan, who has arrived at Zootopia and turns the mammal metropolis upside down in the process. To crack the case, Judy and Nick will have to go undercover and test the limit of their partnership to solve this mystery across the vast lands of the city and beyond before everything falls into chaos. So as I say that the original film was so inventive, fun, colourful, and also tackled some well-established deep themes, and there was so much of this world and focus that I could see them tackle and show off, as there was so much potential with this world building, and bringing these characters back will do just that in appeal. I mean, I just recently watched it there probably about a month ago, and I still think it's a really great movie. While the detail does not show too much, and it's a fucking weird way they edit it, but it was interesting, it gives an idea of some of the colourful new parts of the world we will see in this film, and I'm sure a whole lot more for it still to be shown, and I'm excited to check this out in due time. And it's a little bit away, but I'm sure it will be worth to check out. This new film will make its release into cinemas from November 28th. The last of the trailers in focus is bringing us back into the belly of the beast. In the tense and fiery pits of the kitchens and workforce provide both a hefty serving of delicious cuisine and a hard, hefty dosage of stress, drama, and storytelling, as we are returning to the small new culinary restaurant once again for a trailer for the fourth and presumably possibly final season, from what I've heard, of The Bear. This new season will see Carmen, Sydney, and Richie pushing forward and determined to not only to survive, but to take The Bear to the next level in culinary excellence after the response from a recent review had put a bit of damper in their careers and look to make a change to do just that. So I will say that I can see the likes of the appeal of this series has had a decent good focus on dynamic of family and building trust amongst the ragtag group of chefs, and while you're salivating at the mouth with the tasty dishes, but you also feel the heat of how close quarter and quick everything it was too, and gives you that real sense of stress and fucking inducing to watch. I know I've not reached the last season yet, and I've heard it's a bit of a mixed outcome, but I feel it may have its slight hiccups now and again with any show. I'm sure it will go with a bit more success, hopefully, but we'll see how this comes about when the new season drops onto Hulu and Disney Plus in about a month's time on June 25th. And with all of that now, that's all the trailers that we do have for this week.
You got me like,
So the first of the two news stories that we have in focus for this week is just a little bit of some updates and the likes of some casting news for a few different projects that have a bit of a franchise tone to them all, and some have a few updates and some are just one or two new additions, but let's delve into talking about those new additions, shall we? So we will start with a bit more of an update to the castings of the upcoming adaptation of the recently released Hunger Games prequel book of Sunrise on the Reaping. And over the last month, we've seen a few additions, including Joseph Zeta playing the younger version of Haymitch, Whitney Peake playing Haymitch's love interest of Lenore Dove Braid, McKenna Grace will play fellow District 12 tribute Maisley Donner, and Jesse Plemons will take on the role of Plutarch Heavensby. So far was the ones we got confirmed, and ones I already mentioned. But since then we have a fair bit more new additions announced for the cast of this project, which includes the rumored casting of Ellie Fanning initially being confirmed to now be playing Effie Trinket, and a few more new additions announced with it, including Conjuring star of Lily Taylor playing Mags Flanagan, Mufasa star Kelvin Harrison Jr. playing B.T. Latier, Stranger Things and Inside Out 2 star Maya Hawke will be playing Wyrus, Oscar winner Kieran Culkin will be playing Kaiser Flickerman, and Conclave star of Ralph Fiennes will be playing another antagonistic role playing President Cornelius Snow. which I see as being quite a stacked cast for this adaptation. Sure, I may have possibly missed a few other casts, and I got all of the names of the big names of this project, but I will not be surprised if there's more new casts to join down the line, but I think it's a decent selection overall, and I'm sure it will appeal to many in due time when this production starts and we see the release of this movie come next November. The next of the cast announcements with a new addition to this slowly but surely growing casting of the upcoming adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia from Oscar-nominated director Greta Gerwig. Now, not many has been confirmed, with only one being probably set in stone, which was with Emma Mackey set to portray the White Witch for the adaptation, with the other rumors we've heard so far already being Daniel Craig, Charlie XCX, and Meryl Streep, just to name a few. But with this week, we have another new addition to be cast confirmed to be set in stone, and that is with promising young woman and Drive star of Carey Mulligan cast in this new adaptation. Now, as of writing, there's no clue as to who she will be portraying in this film, but I'm sure we will learn more about as to who they will be playing in due time, and I'm sure we will get a full-blown list of as to who's playing who and who is also going to be in this new take on the project. But all we can do is speculate until more news comes about for this project before this film's releases in November of next year as well. And the last of the casting news we have for this week is the only one that we do not have a physical performance for, but one in the vocal range instead, and it's the new casting edition for the probably unnecessary but probably highly anticipated release of Toy Story 5. Now we have the usual cast group making their appearance once again, such as Tom Hanks as Woody, Tim Allen as Buzz, Joan Cusack as Jessie, Tony Hale as Forky, Annie Potts as probably Bo Peep, and many more of this group of fan favorite characters. And while we do not have heard much of any of the new additions, it looks like this may be another that's about to change more and more. As on Tuesday of this week, it was announced that recent Oscar host and late night talk show superstar of Conan O'Brien has been cast in the upcoming film, with him set to play a new character known as Smarty Pants. Now, we have not yet seen any idea as to what his character will look like, and I wonder if you will see any more characters from previous films like Ducky, Bunny, and Duke from the fourth movie, or any other additions, but I think it's a solid choice addition to the cast, and I can see him work with the appeal of his humor and voice that could work. Now, I'm sure we will get more of an idea of these characters and any more new additions in due time over the course of the next little while, up until the release of this film in June of next year, but we shall see once we do hear anything. But what do you think of these casting announcements? Do you see any of these choices as good or bad, and who would you cast in these projects if you had the chance to do so? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And our second and last news story focuses with some new changes, announcements, and some delays in likes of some release dates and announcements updates from some stories from a little while ago and just here and there, but we can get to talking on that now in a few. So let's take on what has changed. So we'll start off with the big announcement of a delay, and that is with it coming to us on Friday that it was announced that both Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have both been delayed and will no longer be these summer releases as they were projected to, and now both release in December of their respective years, with Doomsday releasing December 18th, 2026 and Secret Wars on December 17th, 2027. Personally, I expected it was probably going to happen, that the likes of these movies are so much bigger than they expected to be at first, and that given the extra 7 months for each will make some complete proper sense to do so. Now, it seems like Secret Wars may be fine for the moment with some competition. I don't think it's really gone up against anything major, but for the likes of Doomsday, it now has a bit of a tough contest, as it will be now releasing the same day as another big anticipated release, which is of course Dune Messiah, which was releasing on the same day. But I feel like my headcanon, it will either see Doomsday move up slightly, or Dune Messiah get delayed into an early 2027 release, because I feel they will not want to have a bit of a competition, unless they want to do like another Barbenheimer kind of thing, but I don't know how they're going to do it. But, you know, if the case of people appeal more to the massive ensemble of heroes, or the continued story of Paul Atreides, but I'm sure they will figure something out. Now, since this is freed up a date or two, I wonder if anyone will take the opportunity to put their projects out on that week instead from previous entries. Well, it seems one has taken the risk for a bold new summer collection that will be ready to go, as it was announced that the rumored and now confirmed sequel of The Devil Wears Prada is now releasing on May 1st of next year, which I guess we'll see some studios have some sense of a chance to earning some box office in this time period now, so they may as well go for it. So the case, I think that one or two of the original cast are confirmed to be returning, with the only one essentially returning so far confirmed is Stanley Tucci and possibly Emily Blunt, but I'm not 100% sure on the latter one. The studio is keeping things hush-hush for the moment in terms of casting and stuff, but I'm sure they will unveil their full clothing range collection in due time before its now confirmed release in next May. And the last of the announcements in this story comes in the area of a story that I brought up recently, with this rumor about a new adaptation based on the popular game title getting the big screen treatment from a well-loved studio. On Friday this week, it was also also announced now that after a bit of rumor for time, that confirmed rumored Elden Ring video game adaptation is in the works with A24, and it's also confirmed for Alex Garland to be writing and directing this project as well. Now, this has seen quite a bit of a mixed opinion online, with some seeing it as an excellent choice and many wanting an adaptation, but some have seen it as being a bit of a concerning aspect, as they feel the likes of trying to make a film based on this massive title or any game from the From Software series is a bit too pretentious, and other From Software titles might work better, but still a case, it's a bit of a concerning one. And in the case as well as some of the most recent A24 titles have not had the most well-received reception, though some outliers of appealing overall. Now personally, I will give it a bit of a chance and see what they will do with this project and see how far a film version will go before it gets a bit of a mess and be morphed into possibly like a TV series adaptation. But I would say really get the visuals and world down and work more in the realm of visual spectacle would be to make it an animated film with an animation style like kind of Spider-Verse or Arcane to really sell it more. But I'm sure we can see how this goes about, and the case that Garland can make some really decently written projects, so for the moment, I'll give it a bit of a chance. But if anything does change about this or any updates in regards, I shall provide in a later episode. But what do you think of these release date announcements or the last project announcement? Are you excited for any of these in particular, and do you see the Elden Ring project film work out, or do you see it work better as like an animated film or a TV series? Let me know what you think down below in those regards, and with all of them, that's all the news that we do just have for this week. And now, case with all of that, that ends episode 105 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I do hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings for probably a little over 20 minutes, I say, but you know. Anyways, let's delve into what we have coming up for the new, for updates on the channel kind of thing. So I'll start in the case with reviews wise. So I have some bits and pieces with the Last of Us 1 coming along. I might hold off on that regards and just do both season 1 and season 2 maybe back to back, but I might give a bit of space for both, because season 2, as of recording this, is like the finale's tonight, so we can see that regards. Or aim to have them ready to go before season 3, whenever that's going to be. But yeah, I've also been writing a few more of the short review ones. I've done like the Fall Guy is the first one I'm going to do, and a few other ones I'm going to the other ones I probably was going to initially do as long form ones. I'll probably do some short ones from like that might be a bit over delay in terms of a review and stuff, but we'll see in a few ones. But there's going to be still a few from like previous years that I'm still going to do a full long review for. So, but yeah, they're coming along quick enough, and I'll get to them in due time. Probably a few more over a couple of days. Next then, gameplays. I'm going to find the time this week as well to record some gameplays. I have a couple of stuff to do videos on, do some Outlaws again, do some Cyberpunk. I will get to Ventilate as well. I'm going to get to Mario Wonder. I did get Silent Hill 2 earlier for a bit of a decent price, so yeah, I might do some horror stuff kind of thing, or different pieces of that. But yeah, I'll try and get some more gameplays done in the next couple of days, so just bear with that kind of thing. I've just been sort of getting more structured about kind of thing. I'm still exhausted from work, but like, you know, as you do with anything. Anyways, then the case with long form stuff. I do have an extra long form piece in this regards, because I have fully built this boy, and I'm gonna do a bit of a time-lapse video. It is quite long. I feel like I'm gonna try and make it like somewhat decent length in terms of regards. You know, I'm not gonna make it over like an hour of me just building this bad boy, because it's a beautiful piece, and I'm gonna show it right there. Like, it's a beautiful piece right there. Don't hurt me or my son. But in case with that regards, that's coming along. There'll be the rewatchathon is coming along as well. The AI audience choice video that I'm still gonna promise to make is still gonna come, and Horror Spore, everything like that, they're all coming as well. So look forward to those regards. They're all coming due time. It's gonna find the time to write and focus on it. But yeah, I think that's where I'll leave the episode for now. So if you enjoyed my content and want to see more from me more frequently, then simply like and subscribe. I know it's a bit of a push to hopefully try and get 500 by the end of next week with the 2nd anniversary, but we can see. Bit of a push, but maybe. Who knows? But, you know, even to get to like 450 or something would be great, but we'll see in that regards. We'll workshop it, but I appreciate every single one of you for checking out my stuff and for just being supportive over time. So yeah, you're the great people. If in case like you're new here, you're returning from like, you know, unsubbed or came back after a while, you're always welcome to come back. And, you know, like long time fans there as well. You're all special in my heart, so thank you. Anyways, I should leave it there with the cards, but let me know your thoughts on everything that was discussed this week as well, from like the new releases, the trailers, and the news stories. Well, give your thoughts on everything down there below, and I will have a good conversation with any of you. So, but I should leave it there for now. So as always, you all stay being wonderful people and have a great day every day, doing many great things, and of course keeping you, because no one else can do what you do, and also to take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health and take care of yourself, because you're beautiful people and don't want you getting hurt. Now, I've been your host, Sam, in case in regards, and I shall see you all in the next episode. So I'll take care now, and I'll see you all in there.